Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you, step by step. First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Nuti from Italy. And the second is Weinheim from Germany. And the third is Haas from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? The thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil al Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, this hardware is called 316 hardware. It's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD. The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called heat sealed edge oil. For each bag, it will cost 50 USD. The interior lining, it used lambskin imported from France. For each bag, the cost will be 100 USD. And also inside, there is a zipper from Riri brand. And the zipper for one bag is 10 USD.
Lou Doillon didn't walk in. She marched, flanked by 2 attorneys, straight into the Hermes executive suite in Paris. And what happened next set the internet on fire. Sources close to the board say the room went dead silent as she slammed down a typed, single-page document across the polished oak table. The message was crystal clear. Close every Chinese production line immediately. This wasn't a suggestion. It was an ultimatum. Within hours, whispers turned into confirmed reports. Manufacturing hubs across China, factories long rumored to be covertly producing parts or full Birkins, went offline overnight. The shutdown wasn't partial. Entire operations were halted. Machines stopped humming, lights went dark.
These are pieces of artwork. These artisans train years and years to make one of these bags.
Fabrice is doing the last stitching on a Kelly bag. A Kelly takes around 13 hours to be made, depending on the materials that we make it. Our artisans, they need to do 4 years of training to be able to manufacture a Kelly bag.
While Hermes says, made in China, does it feel cheaper? No, that's not a quality issue. It's luxury brand washing.
Hermes, you guys, it's time to show off your factories. No, I don't want to wait to go on YouTube and watch a beautiful documentary on show them off right here on TikTok. Let the world see. Okay, get like China. You gotta be ghetto about it. Just let people know.
Workers were dismissed with little to no warning. Delivery trucks already in motion were rerouted, intercepted, or outright canceled. Half-stitched handles, loose clochettes, and unbranded leathers were hurried into guarded storage. Insiders say some executives resisted, claiming it would trigger chaos in supply chains and crush Q3 forecasts. But Doillon's legal team was ready. A cease and desist had already been filed, signed not just by Lou, but on behalf of the Birkin estate. That legal backing changed the entire mood. This wasn't a publicity stunt. This was a coordinated corporate assault. And the message couldn't have been sharper. My mother's name will not bankroll a counterfeit pipeline. Those weren't just emotional words.
Got a lot of requests, do Hermes next. And that's why we're here in the Highland Park Mall.
Italy, made in China, or maybe made in Chile. Oh yeah, that should be a thing, by the way. I have spent over $100,000 of my own money dissecting luxury bags, cutting them open, analyzing every stitch, every layer. Why? Because I had to know what made those bags so expensive.
They were a direct threat to Hermes's entire global strategy. The company that spent decades cultivating mystery and prestige around the Birkin just had their secrets dragged into the spotlight. And it was their own namesake's daughter holding the torch. The most elusive bag in fashion, the symbol of untouchable status, was now tied to alleged secret factories, backdoor deals, and massive markups. And instead of brushing it under the rug,
It requires a lot of skill to turn it and get it on the right way.
Il y a des bouchées, des bacs plus 4, 5, 6, on en a. Hein.
Lou blew the door wide open. The lights went out in every suspected Chinese factory, but what she ignited in the process was far bigger, because now the world wanted receipts. The flame that sparked Lou's explosive demand wasn't lit in a courtroom. It was recorded on a cracked smartphone screen inside a dimly lit workshop in Guangdong.
I need you people to wake up and critically think and stop believing this shit that you see on TikTok, okay?
You mean to tell me you believe that this man is making your Birkins in China? If he's a Birkin artisan, then I'm an astronaut.
A young artisan, voice blurred and face hidden, filmed herself stitching what looked unmistakably like a Birkin bag. No logo yet, but the shape, the structure, the saddle stitch precision, it was all there. What grabbed attention, though, wasn't just the image, it was the cold math. She zoomed in on a handwritten breakdown. Raw leather, Y2 $500, $350 USD. Metal hardware, Y1 $400, $200 USD. Labor for full bag, Y1 $1,000, $150 USD. Total cost to produce, $1,400 USD. Retail in Paris, $38,000. The disparity was outrageous, and TikTok did what it does best. It devoured the clip. Within hours, Birkin fraud trended. Stitch after stitch mocked the handcrafted in France narrative. One creator put it bluntly, "You're paying for a fantasy stitched by exploited labor." And while Hermes scrambled to issue vague PR denials, the damage was done. Screenshots went viral. Handbag collectors panicked. Even resellers who had stood by Hermes for years started publicly questioning their own stock's origins. How many Made in France tags were quietly flown in from overseas? Was the artistry just another curated illusion? Meanwhile, Lou Doyon, still mourning her mother Jane Birkin's passing in 2023, saw the TikToks like everyone else. Except she didn't just feel betrayed, she felt violated. This wasn't just a brand slipping. It was her mother's legacy being hollowed out and repackaged with lies. What struck Lou wasn't just the cost breakdown, it was the clear suggestion that Hermes had profited for years off a carefully controlled illusion, an illusion her mother never signed up for. The clip showed the leather, the stitching, the hands behind the bag, and none of it looked like the romantic Parisian ateliers flaunted in glossy magazine ads. And while social media buzzes come and go, Lou didn't let this one fade. She saw the clip as proof, the kind of proof no PR campaign could erase, and she weaponized it, transforming a viral moment into the backbone of a courtroom war. Because when you're selling a $38,000 bag on the promise of legacy, craftsmanship, and exclusivity, but your supply chain is allegedly powered by outsourced shortcuts, then it's not just marketing spin, it's corporate betrayal. And Lou wasn't about to let that stand. But if a viral video could shake Hermes' image, Lou's lawsuit was about to rip the entire facade clean off. Hermes didn't start by apologizing. They went straight for blood. Within days of the viral TikTok storm, legal documents surfaced out of Paris. Hermes had filed aggressive suits against two of their former Chinese subcontractors, accusing them of leaking proprietary blueprints, specifically internal Birkin molds, pattern layouts, and detailed cost breakdowns. To Hermes, these were breaches of non-disclosure contracts. To the internet, it looked like a desperate attempt to silence whistleblowers. But Lou Doyon wasn't having it. She responded with scorched earth strategy. In a move that blindsided fashion insiders, she filed an emergency motion in French commercial court, not only demanding a full public audit of Hermes' overseas operations, but also requesting that the company disclose the origins of every single Birkin sold in the last 5 years. The legal team supporting her wasn't just operating on sentiment. They came locked and loaded with ammunition. Internal memos, vendor invoices, and manufacturing schedules that referenced ambiguous locations, redacted partners, and offshore procurement codes. Where did Lou get this intel? Leaked documents suggest she has backing from several burned investors tied to the now infamous 2024 Birkin bait lawsuit, a case that accused Hermes of manipulating Birkin scarcity while offloading mass-produced stock to exclusive buyers under the table. That class action fizzled in the US, but Doyon revived it like a phoenix in France. And this time, she wasn't just poking the brand's ego, she was going for the vault. Hermes' response? Panic. Their legal team scrambled to seal the court records, citing proprietary risk and damage to brand integrity. But Doyon's side fought fire with flame. They started leaking portions of their filings online, screenshots of emails, redacted invoices, and even a supposed staff memo encouraging quiet expansion of production in undisclosed partner facilities hit social media faster than the lawyers could hit submit. One exhibit revealed the internal name of the project, Phantom Line. Commentators lit up X and TikTok. Phantom line? Are we in a fashion thriller now? Every time Hermes tried to clamp down, Lou's team pushed harder. Every attempt at silence created another explosion. The legal battlefield was no longer just about trademarks or factories. It was about legacy, image, and the myth of the Birkin itself. And while Hermes was used to fighting small-scale counterfeits in the shadows, this was a war in the open, waged by the daughter of the very woman who gave the bag its name. But when billion-dollar reputations start to burn, the first ones to flee are the faces built on image. You could almost hear the panic ripple through Hollywood. Less than 48 hours after Lou Doillon filed her emergency motion, celebrity stylists were in meltdown mode. Group chats lit up. PR firms scrambled. One stylist leaked the new standing order: pull all Hermes, archive the orange, no exceptions. For years, the Birkin wasn't just a bag. It was a statement, a power move, a silent flex that you were in. Kim Kardashian built her minimalist aesthetic around color-coded rows of Birkins. Cardi B rapped about them. Drake once filmed an entire music video in a room filled with them. But now, that same bag was radioactive. Reports surfaced that Kim immediately scrapped a planned handbag photo shoot and canceled her upcoming PR drop. Cardi allegedly told her team, "We're not catching a stray over this shay." A publicist for a global A-lister leaked a chilling quote: "If that bag shows up in a single red carpet shot this week, someone's getting fired." And it wasn't just about the photos. Influencers started pulling content. Weekly unboxings turned into disclaimers. YouTube creators who made entire careers around luxury hauls were suddenly backpedaling, issuing vague statements about needing to reevaluate certain brands. Fashion TikTok, once flooded with orange boxes, pivoted hard. Overnight, creators swapped their Birkin montages for stealth wealth aesthetics. Loewe puzzle bags, Celine Triomphe, vintage Prada. The Birkin was no longer aspirational. It was controversial. Retail insiders whispered that one of the top 3 global fashion icons, unnamed but described as a legacy-level face for luxury, abruptly pulled out of a 7-figure endorsement deal with Hermes. The campaign was reportedly ready to launch. Photos were edited. Billboards were scheduled. But as soon as the China factory rumors hit, everything was shelved. Behind closed doors, even Hermes' own internal marketing team was in full retreat. Emails leaked of executives discussing how to pause forward-facing celebrity campaigns and refocus branding on equestrian heritage and craftsmanship, a clear attempt to steer away from scandal. And if you think this was just image management, think again. Investors noticed? Fast. Because when the celebrities flee, Wall Street starts asking, what do they know that we don't? Hermes shares slid 9% in 2 trading sessions, wiping billions in market cap. Resale platforms like Privé Porter flagged a surge of panic listings as collectors tried to exit before prices tanked. Meanwhile, Business Insider reported Chinese vendors hawking factory floor Birkins on gray market apps for pennies on the euro. Auction houses paused upcoming handbag lots, citing authenticity turbulence. Analysts warned, if Doillon's injunction sticks, supply shrinks, trust crumbles, and the Birkin bubble might finally pop. But behind the numbers sits a fierce family legacy. Jane Birkin wasn't chasing status when she asked Jean-Louis Dumas for a roomier carryall back in '84. The bag became an icon because her name meant effortless authenticity. Lou Doillon guards that memory like a family heirloom. Insiders say she spent nights combing fan forums, watching shoppers wonder if their dream bag came from an anonymous Chinese line. That, she decided, was a betrayal. Her legal team's brief quotes. Jane's own words, "If the bag ever stops being made with care, take my name off." Doillon isn't just suing, she's fulfilling a mother's ultimatum. And her crusade is rattling the entire luxury ladder. Chanel's board reportedly commissioned a stealth audit of its accessory vendors within 24 hours. Louis Vuitton's parent, LVMH, greenlit emergency PR training in case questions spill over. Even watchmakers, from Patek to AP, face renewed scrutiny over outsourced components. Hermes attempted damage control by broadcasting a glossy workshop tour, insisting no full bag is assembled in China. Commentators called it too little, too late. Regulators in both France and the EU flagged the case for possible consumer protection review. One analyst summed it up on CNBC, if Hermes can be cracked, nobody's untouchable. All eyes now swing to the next court date. The injunction hearing lands in late June. If the judge sides with Doillon, Hermes must open books on every subcontractor, risking further revelations. Collectors face a fork. double down on a bag that might reclaim mythic scarcity, or bail before the stamp loses sparkle. Meanwhile, Doyon's camp hints at creating a fund to reimburse customers who unknowingly bought China line Birkins. That gesture could rewrite luxury accountability. The broader industry braces. Greed met a namesake's fury, and the fallout is rewriting the rulebook for status symbols. Conclusion. Lou Doyon drew a line in saddle-stitched leather and dared a multi-billion-dollar titan to cross it. Factories went dark, markets trembled, and the world finally asked what handmade in France really means. Whether Hermes bends or breaks, one truth now hangs over every gilded boutique. Legacy isn't a logo, it's a promise. And when that promise is broken, even the most coveted bag in history can unravel with one daughter's demand.